Hey, what's going on, you guys? Like to welcome you guys to the channel. Your boy Big Dog back with another one take review. This is usually I think I call these Keeping Up with the Classics because this is the Curious Case of Benjamin Button, starring Brad Pitt, Taraji P. Henson, and Cate Blanchett. You guys probably seen this before, so it came out in 2008, so of course you know there will be spoilers. Now, it directed by I think David Fincher. I want to say David Fincher. I hope I got that right. It's pretty much the story is a guy who is aging backward. He's born old and ages the other way. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Which is a super interesting concept, if I'm being honest. Now, granted, when Brad Pitt plays Benjamin, the guy who suffered from this disease, and I don't even know if you can call it a disease. But I'm watching it, right, and I really dug the movie. Like I think I really did. Granted, the first 15 minutes for me were kind of like, well, I ain't gonna say the first 15. I'll probably say the first 5 or 10, where like they're doing like the flashback. The woman is in the bed dying, and her daughter's there, and I'm kind of like, I don't know who these people are. I thought this was about like a person who ages backwards. Like, oh, I'm like, I assume like, oh, that must have been his wife then, and that must be his kid. So that, boom, right there, that just pretty much like lets you know a lot of things. But as the movie goes, you see his dad left him because one, he killed his mother in birth, which is, I mean, his mother died from giving birth to him. He came out, he was ugly as hell, he was wrinkled as shit. You know what I'm saying? Just what it was. And Taraji P. Henson just so happened to find him and take him and raised him. And since he was aging backwards, he started off as a baby, but like he grew bigger, but he grew into an old man who couldn't walk and had the brain of a child because he, even though he looked old, he still had the brain of a kid, and like he goes through a lot of different things. When he first had sex, when he get on the ship, he started seeing people die because it's weird. It's a weird situation because one, since you look old, you're typically hanging around old people, but you're getting younger, they're getting older, and a lot of them are dying. So you having to see all this death, and then he had to see death just from old age. Then he had to see death like in war. He had to experience love. He had to experience heartbreak. But he was experiencing all this in reverse. Now, one of the weirdest things about the film, if I'm keeping it a buck, is the love between the love interest played by Cate Blanchett, Daisy, who he met when she was a kid, and technically he was a kid too. It just he looked old. He looked old, okay. So they had a connection. She's like, you're not like you're not like the other old guys, and it seems very inappropriate and weird. But when you take into consideration, like, okay, he's actually 13 and she's 12, or like no, she was 7 and he was like 12 or 13, so it's like, oh, okay, that actually works. But she looks 7 and he looks 76, you know what I'm saying? So it's just this whole weird thing. But granted, they get closer in age, I guess you could say, because it still technically doesn't make any sense. But well, they look, I don't even know how to explain it. You've seen the movie, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm doing a terrible job of telling, explaining why it makes sense when she gets older and he gets younger, but technically he's still getting older, but he's starting to look younger. Bam, there you go. And so you have this, he's like been off doing this thing, traveling and stuff. He sent her postcards and everything like that. But now she's on Broadway. She's in New York. And now, he from New Orleans, you hear me? And she moves to New York. Me being from Louisiana, I can tell you very clearly there is a huge astronomical difference in how we live in Louisiana and how people live in New York. Even what time? That was like 1970, 80, somewhere around there. Still a huge difference, okay? It's a huge difference. And you see how the city life got to her, and like how he was still kind of like this country boy in a sense. And so when they meet up and things just don't happen to work for him, I actually enjoyed that whole thing where it's like, yeah, I'm happy that it didn't just bam, boom, right. They just, of course, they just right back together. Or it's like, of course, it doesn't just work from the get go, because I'm just like, I don't think it happens like that. I think it takes time, and it did. He had to keep experiencing some things, and she had to grow. And granted, she went through some tragedies that like held her back. But when they finally connected, it's something you just kind of you was happy for. Um, but it's still just this whole weird concept, because once again, he's getting younger and she's getting older, even though he's technically getting older. But you guys know exactly what I mean. So, and then the biggest gut wrenching moment is when he decides to leave. He has a kid by her, and that's the kid in which we see in the beginning, and like who's doing all the flashbacks and everything. But he has a kid by her, and he tells her, you have to find her a father, because I can't be that. You can't raise both of us. And it's true. She know it's true. Yeah, he knew it was true. That's the reason he said it. But you still kind of like, you can still, you like, no, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Like, it's just not. There's no way it works. Like, and that when he just left, it sucked so bad, because like this is weird. And the moment when he comes back to visit, oh God, I'm just like, you could tell he's young. I don't know what they was doing with Brad Pitt. Maybe they did like the agent. I don't know. He was younger. She was older. His daughter's about like 13 at this time. So I mean, it's been gone 13 years. So that means he's 13 years younger since the last time you seen her. And it's you just like, and then they still end up like having sex again. But she just walks out and just leaves, and that's it. Until she finds him again, he's even younger. Like, she's like, it's genius the way they did this. Okay, I can't lie. Like, the whole story behind the whole story in this is genius. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. It is heartbreaking. Also, the mom was there in New Orleans during Katrina, and I know I met a lot of my best friends because of Katrina. But I also know Katrina was terrible. So I'm kind of wondering, I know the mom died at the end of the movie, but what happened to the daughter? Did she make it out the hospital? They should have answered that for me. But it was weird seeing him as a baby die in her arms. And it's weird for her, because this is somebody she was in love with. Now she's taking care of him as a kid. It's who thinks of shit like this, bro? It's moving fire. I don't like grade older movies. I just talk about them. But yeah, man, this was fire. But you guys, let me know what you thought about the Curious Case of Benjamin Button down in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching the vid, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Peace.